How's it going, YouTube? Luis here, and I have a Korg M50 here with me. I've had this keyboard since I was in high school, probably like around 2013. It's been working great so far, but I've been having a couple of issues for the past couple of weeks, where the controls on this side on the screen will actually freeze up, and it won't let me do anything. Right now it's still working, but over time it will just stop. Or if I'm playing as well, the sound will just keep going even though I'm not touching the keyboard. I did some research and came across that some capacitors on the board need to be changed, or something with the wire that hooks up to the screen as well might be bad. But I'm gonna go with the capacitors. I actually ordered the capacitors here. Really tiny, really tiny. I think I got them on I want to say, what was it? Parts is Parts, their authorized Korg dealer. And yeah, I think I got these for like about maybe anywhere from $8 to $10 a piece. I did order 4 just in case I mess up. But yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. And yeah, the screen's still working, which is pretty good. We'll see. We'll see what goes on. I'm gonna open the board and we're gonna change the capacitors and hopefully take care of that problem. And as we can see here that it stopped working. So as you guys can see, I already took the cap off. I'm not trying to make a long video. Besides like taking off the cap for the back, just peeled this foil up. I'm pretty sure that's the board that we're gonna have to take out. So let's see how that's gonna go. And according to the forum that I read, C153, which is right there, and on the other side, C37, which is right there, the middle one. Can't even get this one right here. Or the capacitors, or whatever the hell you want to call them, are the ones that are gonna have to be changed out. So let's see how that's gonna go.
Today I am working on a Korg M50 PCB board here. I am replacing some capacitors on it. Apparently the keyboard was having issues booting up properly upon startup, and my client thinks that it's the fault of 2 capacitors on this PCB. The first one, which looks different from all the other ones, is the one that's center here, the C153. This one, and on the back side of the PCB, the C37, apparently are responsible in some way for communications between ICs on the board. And apparently when those two aren't functioning properly, it just keeps the board from starting up. So to fix that, all you have to do is buy some replacement capacitors for those two from Korg themselves. They highly recommend buying one from themselves. And that's what these look like. You notice that these are different color from all the other ones. I don't know if that quite matters. I would think it doesn't as long as they behave the same, but they both apparently have very low ESR rates, which is important. So I went ahead and changed out the C153 here, which is why it looks different from all the other ones before I started this video, just so I knew I could do it. There isn't much that makes this hard. The only thing you have to look out for is that these capacitors do have a positive and negative side, and you can see that on the board themselves, as like this capacitor here on the top side has a plus sign. That's a positive side, and it's kind of hard to tell with the black and gray capacitors, but there's a gray strip on the positive side of the capacitor that if you don't have a PCB tells you that that capacitor side is the positive side. On these new replacement ones, there is a side that is more orange than yellow, and that orange strip is the positive side. So that's why on this side, the bottom side is the positive side. So then for C37 on this side, you see it's smack dab there in the center. The right side is the positive side, so when we put on the correct way, or otherwise things will be jank and not work. So like I said earlier, I'm trying to take out capacitor 37. It'll be this one here, and it's a little bit tricky because this one is surface mount, which is a little bit harder to do with just a regular soldering tip. But you can kind of get the pad heated and try to raise up the capacitor just a bit. Of course, you don't want to do it too long because you risk heating up the PCB board itself and causing damage that way. I'm going to try and do it from both sides at the same time and try to get it up from the pad. Make sure I don't hit all the other devices here as well. That'd be ugly. And there we go. We got one side lifted up. Now make sure you keep your soldering tool clean. It's important so that you don't have horrible heat connections and flow going on. Now that the one side's up, we're just gonna heat up the other side and try to lift it off as well. And there you go. Super simple. Not hard or anything. Just gotta know which capacitors to take out. One thing to note, you do want to make sure you don't breathe in any of the steam or gas that's coming off from the board as you unsolder things or solder. So it is toxic. You just don't want to breathe too much of it. It'll cause cancer if you inhale too much over time. So now, just want to make sure that you check your positives are on the positive side. So like I said, the orange strip goes on the right from my perspective because that's the side that's denoted as positive. So again, because it's surface mount, it's a little bit tricky. But what I'm going to do is just dump a bit of solder onto the pad itself so that I can just put the component on there and just heat that up while the component's out there and get that attached. So you don't want to dump too much, but just enough that when you put the component on, you can stick it on. Now you could do both sides, or you could do what I did and just put one side. Make sure you got the right alignments and positive is going to the positive. And then you're just gonna heat up the pad again. And there you go. We just wanted to get the component stuck in there so that we could solder the other side without having to work some magic or whatever. And you could double check just by poking and prodding a bit, but you don't want to scratch the PCB board itself. Just checking it was stable there. And then we're gonna sneak into the other side and get that stuck on there too. It is important that both sides do get soldered, otherwise you won't have a 100% connection all the time. you'll just run into the same issue. And I think that about wraps it up. Just double check that your connection is fine. Can't really see because I don't have a light. I'm gonna take the light. This side seems good. This other side can use a little more, so we're just gonna put a little more solder on that side. I'm gonna clip the end of this because it was kind of balling up. Make sure the tip is clean. We're just gonna go at it again from the original side. Same deal. Clean the tip. Then we'll need the light again. Gonna put a little more. Apparently I'm misjudging how much I should be putting on. I might have actually just put too much there. Yep, that is definitely too much. So then I'm going to use my jank ghetto little vacuum here just to absorb some of that. Gonna need to reapply some. And that looks better. Got some solder we'll need to clean up, but I think that's it. That was the main part of this fix. You're just swapping out those two capacitors, really. There's not much else to it. You just need a pretty good soldering iron and a good soldering tip. You don't want one that's too fat or too thick, because these are small components you're working with. And that's it.
So I got the board back, and man, looks like he did a really good job. So remember guys, C153 and C37 are the ones you guys are gonna have to change. Oh, and he did mention that they have a positive and a negative side, so just make sure if you do this yourself, you put them on the right side, so it will function. So I got the board back in, and I mean the only wires that I took out was this one right here, this one right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the wire for the display that connects to the back part. Well, with that one, you just gotta be really careful not to pull it out, because you will probably snap it off from the other side. And that was pretty much it. And I'm probably just gonna put the cap on and then we're gonna test it and see how it goes. So I just put the back power supply on, and a 1/4 inch for the audio, and then we're gonna turn it on, see what happens. We might have to update it. I don't know if I lost memory, but I did save all my progress before I did anything, so we're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna check some banks out, try to see if I did lose memory or not. See, well, it looks like everything's still here. I mean, everything seems like it's working fine. So I'll probably just test it out for a couple of days, play it for hours, and see if it freezes up. But man, so far, so good. Hopefully, those capacitors last for a while. I mean, like I said, I did buy 4, so I have 2 extra now. So I'm just gonna keep with me in stock. And yeah, hopefully it works out.